I mean, I'm not 24 hours out of seeing your film, to be honest.
Oh, lovely.
This time yesterday I was in, and
cool.
so I still kind of feel the adrenaline from seeing it. So much fun.
Thanks so much.
Really, really enjoyed it. The music is such a character in this. It's just, there's so many elements to it as well. But before we kind of get into the details of that, when you...
Are you Irish or Welsh or...
Scottish.
Scottish. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It's all Celtic.
It doesn't really. Don't tell Scott that.
Yeah, true. Did when you first did you read the book first and then did it feel musical to you when you read the book?
I mean, I read the book 18 years ago. So I'm sure if there was music, it was a very different music world because I was probably thinking differently. But I read it 18 years ago. I didn't get the rights at the time. Charlie went another direction with it. And then about 3 years ago, they reached out to me and said, would I be interested in reading the script? And I did, and I still felt the energy. But we did, and we started developing it for about a year and a half before we got Austin attached. Musically, and it took a while to figure that part out.
Yeah.
Definitely, the needle drop thing took a while because one of the things that really hit 1998.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the strongest of years. I mean, there's some good stuff. Of course, there's great stuff from the 80s and the early 90s and stuff. But I really wanted that late 90s vibe.
Yeah.
So Jen Malone, who was our music supervisor, really brought me up to speed on a lot of stuff. And we chased a lot of tracks, and eventually it started coming together. But early on, when I first started working on it, I thought about Idols as like being the house band of the movie.
Nice.
I was a big fan of them. And actually, I was getting married, and I wanted one of their tracks, a song they do called Love Song, to be our first dance. And my wife thought I was out of my mind. I was like, it's great. It's like a punk song, and everyone will be jumping around, and it'll be like a punk. But she thought it was a terrible idea. And then as I was going through that negotiation with my fiance, I did Fallon for the first time for The Whale.
Yeah.
And they were the band.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow, Idols are here. And I went in and we met and we just became friends and started talking. And then I'm trying to think what the next steps were, but I think then eventually I just reached out to Joe and said, hey, would you be interested? And it started the whole journey towards this.
And did you know that you wanted them to write songs for it? Because that's such a different ask, when you worked with Clint, for example, came from a band background, but it was about writing score. This was kind of a really exciting proposition, I imagine, for them. Or did that come through conversation?
At first, it wasn't clear what they would do, and I wasn't sure if they could do score. It's a very different skill, though. Writing score and writing music is two different things. And being a composer is a different thing. On The Whale, I think we had a composer before Rob came on. There was a composer who's a very famous composer, incredibly lauded, who tried to write film score and couldn't do it. And that was the first time I was like, oh, wow, film score is it's a unique skill and art form. But I wasn't sure what was going to happen because I knew there was going to be a lot of needle drops, and then I thought maybe it would be okay just with Idols. And so I gave them the script first before I got Rob involved, and they read it, and Joe wrote 5 or 6 songs, and actually all of them are in the movie in some form or another.
Yeah.
So they don't all have lyrics, just a couple of them do, but most of them, the music's in it. But I realized that they weren't really focused on like emotional beats and help that I was going to need. So then I reached out to Rob, and very early on I was like, look, I got Idols involved. They want to be involved. I have this kind of idea, which would be cool if you guys could sort of blend forces where you write the score and they perform it. But as you're writing it, you're thinking, what would a punk band score sound like?
Yeah.
And that was it was funny because there was not many examples of that where a band came on. The only one we come up with was Flash Gordon with Queen.
With Queen?
Which was very different. But we really couldn't think of a a rock band taking on that type of response. Neil Young, of course, played along for Dead Man Walking.
Cat Stevens in Harold and Maude is the only other one that I can think of as well.
Yeah, so it's not very common. Yeah. But this was interesting because it was the blend. It was bringing in a composer who was definitely thinking about the types of sounds Idols makes, and then we all got together in a studio in Bristol, and it was fun trying to hear them create sounds that we could use in different ways.
I imagine it's a lovely kind of, as a band, especially a band like Idols, who are the stage that they are in their career in terms of where they what they choose to write about and how much themselves they pour into those songs, of being given a narrative and characters to write for must be a kind of lovely opportunity. They
had a great time, and I don't know if you'll get to talk to Joe, but
I hope so.
He comes a little
He's
bit.
Great.
He I think he might have done some film school or something, but he definitely and I think that's part of what's amazing about Idols is their videos and their graphics and everything. There's a whole conceptual thing, and a lot of that is coming from within the band. Joe designed the album cover for the vinyl release of it, which is awesome. It hasn't been released yet, but I don't know if you saw the Rabbit Run kind of graphic of the guy running across the street. The guy, Austin Butler, running across the street. But it's super cool. He has the right aesthetic. I think we're creating a zine to go with the vinyl, which is going to be dope. That Joe walked around the East Village interviewing all the bartenders and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. He just gets the aesthetic. He was like, oh, let me create the font for the movie. He didn't do this, but he did come with some ideas and stuff that we just really...
that's awesome.
Yeah, they're very visual, and that's a big part of them.
I mean, the film is so... you feel it. It's so kind of sensual. And I think when I first went to New York, worked at MTV UK here in the UK. And my first trip to New York, I was sent out to interview the Beastie Boys.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, shit
So
scared.
what year?
I can't remember the year now, but it was late
90s?
90s, yeah.
Late 90s.
Yeah, and
okay.
it was
past post-Sabotage.
Yeah, and it was Soho Hotel that we went in the basement there, and they heard my accent, and straight away, I don't know why, if they had kind of connections, they looked after me, and they had all these kind of recommendations of places that I should go after the interview and stuff, and so I kind of went on this crazy, and Paul's Bar and all that. It feels so familiar from kind of going
Paul's
back.
Boutique, I guess. I didn't even connect that to you. There you go.
But it's that you can almost smell it, you can feel it, you can hear the kind of traffic. It's got such a real kind of visceral, sensual experience when you're watching it. And,
Thank you.
And I think the music and the way that it kind of almost holds you in a way.
Thank you.
It takes
I mean, well, it was so... I mean, New York is such a musical city, still now, but there's always music in the streets. And one of the great things about New York City, especially in this moment in time, that important to remember is that it really is a melting pot. It's a place where people come from all over the world, and actually everyone becomes a New Yorker. And what Liev Schreiber said to me, his favorite quote about New York is that everyone has a grandmother from somewhere else, which I thought was great. But the language, and also in the movie, the way Bad Bunny is, in Spanglish land, and the Russians are in and out of English, and the Hasids are speaking Yiddish and English. I mean, that's New York City still. But the soup holds them together somehow. They all become New Yorkers, and that's it's been interesting starting to show the film and people start talking about the diversity in it, and it didn't even doesn't dawn on me as a New Yorker, because I ride the subway and it's every day, when you're in rush hour, I can only imagine the geographical reach of one subway car, and it all sort of works and holds together.
I love how you celebrate that in the film. It
yeah.
really is.
Well, I'm not celebrating. It's just what it is. And it was fun to lean into that little niche of culture is there, and that little niche of culture is there, and anyway, it brings it all together.
I've got to talk about the little run of tracks that we hear through through Austin's kind of back on the drink scene,
exactly.
which is brilliant. Which
Thank you.
We've got Madonna Ray of Light in there, and then we've got Alanis, and then of course we've got Closing Time.
Is there Alanis?
Is it Alanis or is it?
No, it's I think
Alanis.
the second. I think it's Chemical. No, it's it's Orbital. Actually, I think it's when he's on the telephone. I think the second track is it's not Alanis. I did want Alanis, but Alanis would have been a little earlier though when she was hitting, right? Would have been. Closing Time is actually right on though. I think it's 97, 98.
That's like but it's
I couldn't believe they gave it, because we were able to afford it, which was like kind of crazy. It was the songs we got that I'm really thankful to so many of the bands. It started with Madonna, who's I know a bit over the years, and she's always been really helpful. She helped me on The Wrestler, put together that soundtrack, and she helped me on this one too. So she's like totally supportive of filmmakers, and especially New York filmmakers. Yeah. So I was like, I want to give her a great presence in the film. And Ray of Light is a really interesting. It's a really good album. There's a few albums that are great that. I guess Ray of Light was big at the time.
Yeah.
It was huge, right?
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, it was William Orbito that she worked with on
that's
that.
right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. So then, I think the second track is an Orbital track, but we'll have to fact check it. Then it's Closing Time. And then...
I did laugh out loud with Closing Time because it is that, I know who... It's just that moment of the night that we've all experienced at least a dozen times with that song. That's a lot of fun as a filmmaker of kind of... I guess you're pouring yourself into it, but you're also thinking about how the audience might react with that with that kind of little mix.
Yeah, it's always a question of, do you pick songs that actually comment on the scene or not, and how far you go with that. But definitely, I was thinking about that because I really probably put Jen, the music supervisor, through the paces because I was like, but why this song? Because there was a lot of songs. I was very limited in scope when I was in '98. Yeah. I think I was probably making the soundtrack to Pi, so I was going deep into electronic music and kind of the Nine Inch Nails universe of like Autechre and Aphex Twin. And where Clint was sending me, I was like totally deep in that world and was kind of absent from everything else. Even that David Bowie album, which I guess... Trent worked on the American I Hate America. What is this track in the movie? It's actually very well.
The Bowie track in Caught Stealing.
Yeah, is.
I mean, that's the thing from seeing it yesterday, where you're kind of like trying to watch the movie and then you're like trying to make notes.
Actually.
And it's like, oh my God!
Don't put me on phone on Bowie American.
I was trying to find a list of all the tracks that were in it, but it's not. Even that's not out yet as well, which was like.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'm Afraid of Americans.
There we go.
The I'm Afraid of Americans track that which I don't even know the name of the LP. Album was.
Yeah, that feels like it's one that I missed in that time as well, and it's interesting you talk about.
No, but it's actually a big track, and there was a video with Trent and Bowie, which I'm
going to watch that straight after.
It's actually it has a lot of like incredible electronic beats. Like Bowie was right on what was going on right then. But I don't think it really got that. That was the hit off of it, and that was the last song to get approved to get in. It was super hard. The other track I'm super excited about is Copacabana.
Yes.
Which I was like, I could not believe we were able to get and secure. But the funny part is, just like last week, I was in Puerto Rico and I was talking to Bad Bunny about Copacabana and he had no idea what Copacabana was.
No.
Yeah, which was he knew what the Copacabana Club was in Cuba and in New York, but he was like, you know what the Copacabana? I said yes, but you don't know Barry Manilow? He had no idea. No, he's 31, so I get it, but still. I was like, wow, if you do a single of Copacabana, that'll be the biggest song in the world.
Yeah.
It'll bring you into a whole new generation. And I played it for him, and he was like, oh, yeah. That's pretty funny. Playing Copacabana for Bad Bunny was
that's
career highlight.
Happen. That's going to happen. It's really great as well. There are a few moments in the film where the way that the score really plays with the scene, like You Fucking With Me, and
Yeah,
in the way that it kind of like, it almost kind of comes in and out, like almost goes, and then it's almost playing with the dialogue.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's
you're
really
talking about,
clever.
Yeah. That was fun. It was, I mean, anytime you can underline a scene, but definitely, we were really playing with it there. I mean, without that, it wasn't funny. And so that was where music, like, just really helps you, like, make a joke and make the scene work.
The casting's phenomenal in the film as well. Austin, it's great, and it's also nice to kind of, again, he's as an actor who's on a journey of seeing him being given the opportunity to kind of really show the range of.
Thank you.
Because the arc of that character is pretty huge.
Yeah.
Not just kind of physically, but emotionally, internally, and things as well. It's brilliant to see.
Yeah, I mean, he starts off as a really pretty good guy who's not really hurting anyone except for maybe himself.
Yeah.
And then slowly becomes more and more pushed out of like this kind of slumber he's been in. So it's interesting. I mean, it is part of 3 books. The character has 2 more books. So in many ways, this is like the setup for more stuff to come. But I mean, the film's a full meal. No, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm happy with the movie. I don't know if I'll revisit the world, but it was a lot of fun to kind of tell the story of Hank and the setup of this character. It pays off. So I imagine if it works really well, there'll be some pressure. People really like Hank Thompson. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see Matt Smith spin-off as well.
Well, yeah, while we were on set, we were like, maybe it's time. Maybe we should do the prequel with Lipa and Schmully making that first drug deal with Russ early in the day, and do like 10 years earlier. So it would be fun.
How much of I feel Matt just kind of ran with that.
Yeah, he really did. But he's that type of guy. He's like, hold on, and then suddenly he unleashes. And then he's just such a delight to work with because he's actually kind of like a musician where, well, I shouldn't say this about musicians, but I think I was going to say each take is a little different.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not true, but I guess probably like a punk band, they don't hit it exactly the same, and he's constantly throwing out jokes and ideas and different ways of approaching a scene.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's great to chat to you.
Great.
Appreciate you taking me through it. It's
no problem. I'll see you on the next one. I hope.
For sure.
Okay,
Thanks so much.